For those of you who haven't joined us before, there's a little chat area. You can also talk back to us in the window. Type your questions in there while we go on. We're just going to do a live demonstration of StoryBoard Quick. We have some demos on our website. A lot of people think they go kind of fast, so we like to do live demos as well, just to show you how StoryBoard Quick works in real time, as opposed to a edited presentation. So we'll just jump right in. And when you first open, Quick will ask whether you want to start a new project, open an old project. So we'll click on New. Most projects that you do will have an HD format these days, and there are other formats to choose as well. So it'll create a new project. And when you first open, you've got a blank frame. That's frame 1 of 1. Simply click on a character's head, add a person, and you get different poses to choose from. Walking, standing, running, jumping. We'll pick a guy walking. He comes into the frame at a different rotation, and you can turn him whichever way you want him to face in the frame with these arrows at the top. Do you want him in a closer shot? Just push him into a close-up with the plus button up here. You want to turn him into an over-the-shoulder? You can just turn him around and over the shoulder. Click on another character, drop her in. Every object is on its own layer, so you can choose to move them independently within the frame. And then put in a background, temporary background, let's say. And there you go, you got your first board in just a few seconds. So we're going to take it pretty slow. That way you can see what I'm doing exactly. For the next frame, we're going to start again, do a new frame. Most everyone these days is using location shots as opposed to the temp images. So I've got let's say a location right here, just a photograph. You take on your phone, put it in your computer, drag it into the frame, and we can do a similar type of shot where I have a woman in the hallway. And to integrate the photos into the storyboard, we can use other tools to make it look like the character is coming around the corner as opposed to just flat on the photo. In this case, we can use a crop tool over down here on below the frame and choose to crop off part of this character so that it looks like she's coming around the corner behind the door as opposed to sitting on the photograph. And then the same thing, again, you could have a over-the-shoulder shot of the character. So instead of a temporary photo, I can go back to the first temporary background. We can go and use something we're going to plan to actually shoot. A lot of guys will go out, and girls, I guess, will go out and shoot the location in different angles and then use them directly into the frame. And that way everyone knows exactly what the shot's going to look like, because they're using the photos that they actually shot on the location, use them in the storyboard, and then you can print them out so everyone can follow along with your show. With each frame, there's a caption window, so you can type in any notes you want, or script notes, or the actual script. So if I type in script with each, and then go back to print, you can see that the caption is underneath frame. There's just different printing layouts. We'll get into that later. to do a new frame, go to the frame window, new frame. That'll start a blank frame and the next open frame number, frame 3 in this case. I'm going to open a project that has a few more frames in it already. And we're going to just use it to show some of the different printing choices. A lot of people will use a script format print. Script format is a special format that allows your script to actually continue on beyond the frame edge, so that if your script is longer than what the frame is on a normal format, it will allow you to continue that text lower than the frame. For a lot of different commercial type productions and AV type stories for television and for commercial production, the 2-column format works well. You can choose the number of frames per page down here at the bottom. I want 9 frames, 6 frames, 4 frames. And some people like the grid format. Switch over to landscape. Grid format works best on landscape, especially when you're doing HD. You see the picture on the top and the text for the frame underneath. You can also import your script for your screenplay from your different formats: Final Draft, Screenwriter. In this case, when you choose your script, we're going to choose Final Draft. This is a standard FDX format from Final Draft. You get a dialog box that shows or asks you essentially, how do you want to break up your script into storyboards? Slug line, scene headings, action elements, general text. All these different types of shot elements or script elements are what makes up a screenplay in the screenplay systems that exist. And the most important part of this is the new frame checkbox that you see for each of the different types of elements that exist in the script. Usually at the minimum, you want to have to create a new frame every time we get to a slug line and import that script into the caption. So each caption window will take the text that you select until it comes to another place, another element that it says, I should make a new frame here. So, for example, I've got new frame checked for every slug line. So in this script, if there's 40 or 50 slug lines, I'm going to get 40 or 50 frames. If I also check this box that says new frame for every action element, that means that it's going to make a new frame every time it hits a new scene description as well. So that's going to make a lot more frames. Let's try first just the slug line and new frame and import. So that made 25 frames. You can see that in the caption window down here, that every time there's a new text element or new slug line, in this case, sorry, it makes it breaks the frame, it makes a new frame, create a caption window, and imports the text. So if we put in import script, if we do it again and import and choose action elements as well, start at frame 1. So every time there's a new scene description, it creates a new frame. It'll create many more frames. In this case, it looks like it's going to do about 60. So as you go through the script, you're going to have more captions that just have scene description in them, as opposed to like this, as opposed to a lot of text and dialogue. The other windows that, besides the caption window and the printing window, is the overview window here, where you can choose to shuffle your frames or navigate between frames in your project. I want this frame to become frame 4. I just drag it over, or frame 3 in that case. You can also use the overview window to navigate between frames. If I want to go to frame 12, I double click on frame 12. When I go to frame 13, I can double click there, or I can use the navigation at the top of the frame window. Going next, go to next, go to next. So you can see how a photograph can really add a lot to your project, especially when it comes time to shoot. You can show your crew, your cast, what shots you have in mind for that day, and everybody will be on the same page, literally. Let's make a new frame, bring in a location. I just drag that file off the desktop into the frame. You can also import a file with the file menu and import an image through the file menu, like we did a script. So in this case, we have this swampy looking area. We can take a character and maybe we'll put him sloshing through the, looks like he's walking on it, but if we crop him in there, or in this case we'll use a mask. I want to mask him so that he's in the water, but not a straight edge like cropping. So I'm going to take the mask under the object menu and I'm just going to cut him off a little bit here like this. And I'm creating an area that will be eliminated from the image. So each of these little areas create the holes on the image so that they integrate with the other image that's in the frame on the layer below. So that's not bad, but I can also draw a little bit. Let's just do a little squiggle. Him going through the swamp. bring him into the front of that little trail he's leaving. So that gives a better indicator of what the shot you have in mind is going to look like. Let's go to a new frame. And drop in someone's asking a question about, can I resize a background image? Yes, you can. Just like every object, you can choose to zoom it in, layer with other images, and use it to cheat angles. So you've got that flexibility. There's actually a layers palette that shows you the layers you have in a scene. Let's go to the scene here. In this scene, I've got 3 layers: the background layer and the 2 foreground layers of the characters. If I put this character in behind the background, she disappears. And vice versa. And again, the background is just an image that you can move as well. So after you're finished, you can either print it out. A lot of guys will print to PDF. So whatever the print options are that you set up, however many frames per page or whatever it looks like in the print window, when you print to PDF, it creates a document as if it's on paper, but it's a PDF file, which is a lot easier to distribute. Most people will just email the PDF file to whoever needs to see it. Of course, you can go to paper, you can go to a web. You can actually export the boards to a web page, a website, upload it somewhere for your cast or crew to see, or frames to files. You can export all the frames out as individual files that you can then put into another application if you want to continue on with the project, like a nonlinear editor. We also have an export for movie files in our Storyboard Artist product that we'll show in a different webinar. Now what I've been showing you is Storyboard Quick. And there is a product called Storyboard Artist and Storyboard Quick Studio. The Storyboard Quick Studio is the next step up from Quick. There's Quick, Quick Studio, Artist, and Artist Studio. So there's 4 different levels. So Quick Studio adds more poses for the characters. But beyond that, the couple other really cool features that I like. For one, it'll create a shot for you. In Quick Studio, you've got something we call a quick shot, where you choose, it's kind of like a wizard, where you choose the type of shot you want. Let's say I want to make an over the shoulder. And I want to use the first man, and I want to use someone I've saved called Barbara, and I want to put them outside and out by the cliffs, because he's going to push her off the cliff, I guess. If you click Create, it takes those elements and actually makes that shot for you, and puts in the text of what the shot is in the caption window. So I can go to the next shot, choose a 2-shot, wide right, choose a different background, over at the dump, a couple different characters, and create that shot. So this shot, after it's created, you can still edit it. It just gives you a good starting point to what could be, one of your shots without having to create it from a blank frame. So that's included in Quick Studio. The other one that's really cool for commercial directors and producers, they really like a print option called sketch printing. So let's go to I'm going to choose an option called sketch, and it turns all of the images in the storyboard into what looks like more hand-drawn sketch look. So when you send that PDF, it looks more like it's a hand-drawn. And the commercial producers like it because the client doesn't get hung up on whether the character has blue eyes or red hair or green shirt or their ethnic characteristic. It gives them more freedom in an actual shoot, because then when they're comparing the boards to the shoot, they get a sense of what the story is supposed to be as opposed to what the detail tiny are. The quick shot, where I got that from was there's an icon here called Open Quick Shot Window. It's also in the Frame menu, New Quick Shot. And yes, there will be a copy of this video available online. Okay, another question about Quick Shot. The imported script and the Quick Shot, I guess the answer to that is the imported script. If you have an imported script on that you've already outlined in the Quick project that you've worked on, and then you choose Quick Shot, you can choose to either replace the existing caption or not use that automatically generated caption. So you can do it either way. What usually happens if you're creating a new shot that's inserted, like if I have a project, let's go here. If I got a project here that I like this frame and it fits with my script, and I want to put a blank frame right there, I want to insert that frame. So now I have a frame before, and so if I do a quick shot here, on a blank frame that I just inserted, then there's no caption window yet. So when I create that shot, this caption won't overwrite my previous import. But if I were to create a shot where I did have an import, my imported script, let's say I have on frame 27, nope, frame 26, nope. I know I do, there. On frame 32, I've got a caption that's already existing. So I probably wouldn't want to create a quick shot there because it would overwrite my caption here. In Artist, there's an option to either save or not save. And in fact, if I create a shot here, it'll ask me, do you want to replace that current frame? Because it can see that you already have a frame. Or do you want to insert a new frame? So you can either replace or insert at that time. So my time's up. Thanks for coming. Look forward to working with you guys again. And if you have any questions, feel free to stop by the website.